Good evening, this is Daniel Brown, and welcome to latest global news TV tonight. UK announces £11 million in aid for Syria, amid debates over rebel group designation. HTS designation under review. HTS, formerly linked to Al-Qaeda as the Nusra Front, has been on the UK's terrorist list for years. Let's dive into Keir Starmer's speech.
The situation is obviously very volatile in Syria. It is very good that Assad is gone, but it doesn't necessarily mean that what follows is settled by any means at all. It is really important we talk to our regional allies, our global allies, about the way forward, which has to be a political way forward. And that does mean, to answer your question, a rejection of terrorism, a rejection of violence. So we have to be really clear about the terms. Very early days, but they're the discussions that we're having with our allies. This is an opportunity for Syria, and therefore we have to work to make sure that it's a peaceful opportunity. Talking to our allies, making sure that civilians are protected, making sure that minorities are protected, and being absolutely clear in that red line in relation to terrorism and violence. So we mustn't get ahead of ourselves here in terms of what happens.
Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer has unveiled £11 million in additional humanitarian aid for Syria, aimed at supporting over 370,000 people displaced by the ongoing conflict. Speaking from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, he also addressed the controversial topic of potentially removing Hayat Tahrir al-Sham (HTS), a Syrian rebel group, from the UK's list of proscribed terrorist organisations. Let's have a quick view who is the founder of HTS.
He's emerged as the man leading the charge of fighters in Syria. But little is known about Abu Muhammad al-Jawlani, who's no stranger to armed opposition. The leader of Hayat Tahrir al-Sham became prominent in 2016 when he announced the rebranding of his armed group, Jabhat al-Nusra, and its split from Al-Qaeda. His goal? To create what he said was an anti-regime front in
the UK, alongside allies such as US, is reportedly considering revisiting HTS's status following its recent military success against Bashar al-Assad's regime. On Monday, Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster Pat McFadden stated that the UK government is open to reviewing HTS's classification, suggesting it could be done swiftly. However, Prime Minister Starmer clarified, "No decision is pending on this matter. It is far too early to make such considerations. Our priority is engaging with allies to explore opportunities for Syria's future." Foreign Secretary David Lammy echoed these sentiments, emphasizing that HTS's actions, including treatment of civilians and cooperation on issues such as chemical weapons monitoring, would be under scrutiny. To humanitarian and security efforts, Keir Starmer stressed the importance of a collaborative international effort to support Syria's stability. "If we are to achieve a better future for Syrians, we should let Syrians themselves determine their future."
He highlighted the UK's decade-long fights against terrorism in Syria, including combating ISIS. In addition to the Syrian aid package, the UK government has announced £36 million in funding for the National Crime Agency to combat illicit finance, a tactic commonly used by authoritarian regimes, including Assad's. Strengthening Middle East partnerships. During his visit to the Middle East, Starmer reaffirmed the UK's commitment to strengthening its ties in the region. Enhanced defence cooperation with Saudi Arabia. Support for the Lebanese armed forces to maintain a ceasefire with Israel. Efforts to promote stability, including calls for a ceasefire in Gaza and accelerated aid delivery. What happens in the Middle East has a direct impact at home, from supply chains to security, Starmer said. Stay tuned for further developments on this story. Don't forget to like and subscribe to latest global news TV tonight for updates on global and local events.